Today in Vatican City, they're holding a celebration of the birth of the Roman Catholic Sun-Child. The first thing I find interesting is that they've actually placed the depiction directly underneath the Star of Ishtar, the Eastern Star of the mystery religions. If that isn't blatant enough, you can see that the star is being propped up by an Egyptian obelisk. So straight off you can see that this is a counterfeit copy, a mirror of the real thing. Then of course you've got this giant Kabbalistic tree, and also accompanied by other ancient symbology that should make it absolutely clear that this represents the birth of the sun god of the Babylonian mystery schools. The Feast of the Immaculate Conception that took place just a day before this festival is simply a code for the birth of the Antichrist, or the ripping of the dimensional veil.
And I saw a star fallen from heaven to earth, and he was given the key to the shaft of the bottomless pit. He opened the shaft of the bottomless pit, and from the shaft rose smoke like the smoke of a great furnace.
For example, let me ask you a question. Why do you bring a tree in your house on December 25th? What does that signify? What does it mean? What is the reason you do it? The answer is you don't know. Let me ask you another one. What is the reason that you take that same tree that you don't know why you brought in your house and you deck it with silver, with gold, and various other ornaments? What does it mean? Why do you do it? The answer is you don't know. What is the reason you put that star on the top of that tree for? What does it mean? You don't know. What are you kissing somebody under a mistletoe for? You don't know. So now, with that being said, what you need to do is sit down and lend me your ear for a few minutes so you can understand why you do these things. You can get the origin of these things, and then you can consciously decide if you want to continue doing it or if you want to do away with it. Because you have been naively beguiled into worshiping Satan. And I'm going to show you exactly how Satan infiltrated Christianity with Christmas. During the winter solstice, according to mythology, that's the day when the sun began to regain its dominion and begin to conquer the night. Because during the winter solstice, that's the period when the night is at its longest extent throughout the whole year, and the day shone for the shortest amount of time throughout the whole year. So in a sense, there's this type of mythological battle going on between the sun and night. So what succeeded the winter solstice was a gradual increase of the sun going from its lowest point all the way up until the summer solstice, where it goes into its highest point. So the pagans back then took that as a sign that the sun was beginning to regain dominance over the night, and they began to make deities out of it. So for instance, you have the Egyptian god Horus, who was born on the winter solstice of December 25th. You have the Greek god Helios, who was born on the winter solstice of December 25th. You have the Greco-Roman god Apollo, who was born on December 25th. You got the Hindu god Mithra, who also was born on December 25th. And you got the demon of all demons, the deity named after Nimrod, Baal, who after Nimrod's death, he was deified by his mother Semiramis and turned and claimed that he became the sun god. He also was born on December 25th.
Children videos and books involve some type of beast or monster. But the truth is that children are naturally frightened by monsters. In fact, children are terrified instinctively, and children have those instincts for good reasons. So why is Hollywood forcing these images and movies down our throats, promoting debauchery and bestiality, teaching and promoting the use of sex and drugs to our innocent little children? And if they're not using the beast, they'll use an old man, an innocent young boy or girl in the hands of a stranger, and they always use someone else's child. Always alone and always without the parents. And that's how the old man got it up. And that's why all holidays involve innocent children, teaching them about fertility festivals and promoting sex. They force the children to partake in these ancient fertility rituals. But children subconsciously pick up these adult themes, secretly teaching the children about their gods and goddesses. Satanic Hollywood has been promoting bestiality for years and years. Just ask yourself, what is their obsession with bestiality? Because some of the most popular films you can think of include bestiality. And they don't beat around the bush. They make sure you get the message clearly. And the Illuminati always includes the sacrifice. Hollywood has used sacrificial themes in thousands of their movies, and they always involve women and children. In 2000, at the Bohemian Grove, the Illuminati was caught on video making child sacrifices in effigy, just like the sacrifices of the Israelites. Which brings us back to the ancient order of the Celtic priests, known as Druids. They held pagan rituals in the forest known as the Sacred Grove. They made circular temples like Stonehenge, called Temples of the Druids. This is where they made human sacrifices to their gods and nature spirits. Julius Caesar on Celtic sacrifices. He said they used figures of immense size whose limbs, woven out of twigs, they filled with living men and set on fire. The winter solstice and springtime festivals like Beltane were sacred to these ancient Druidic cults. Beltane is the eve of May 1st, when the young Druidic teens and elders would go into the forest at night and cut down the best or maximum tree for the maypole to be used in fertility rituals the next day on May Day. During the night, they would drink, sing, dance, and go crazy. Today, it is known as Night of the Witches. Wild sex, orgies, pedophilia, bestiality were all practiced. It was just like a Saturnalian, Dionysus, or Bacchus festival, which always included the children, even in their drunken orgies. The Druidic pagan Romans carried on these ancient fertility rituals that involved children, becoming some of the worst pedophiles in history, along with the Greeks. They allowed young children to join in drinking wine, taking drugs like magic mushrooms, and partake in sexual debauchery and bestiality. And they still use the magic mushroom with our children today. And after a long night, they'd have fertility rituals the next day, known as May Day. They use children to represent the sperm as they run around the maypole. The ancient Egyptians used the obelisk. It represented the fertility magic of Osiris and men, a bull god, just like the Moloch of the Israelites and the Canaanites. El, Cronus, or Saturn. El is the fertility god of the Bible and worshipped by the Illuminati. And that's why we have the fertility maypole. It represents the fertility magic of El. And as you can see, it's not a human penis, it's a bull penis. And now you know why it has the red eyes of the bull. And that's why you'll find Saturn, El, the bull god, at Wall Street. Because El is the bull god Baal, Satan, Saturn. So now you know the true meaning of the all-seeing evil eye. The fertility god of death and chaos. And that's why Washington, D.C. is a necropolis, city of the dead. And that's why Saturday is named after the god of chaos. Because Saturday is the night we all go crazy, drink, and have sex. And that's why the fertility of El connects to the woman's ovaries, connecting to the Oval Office. The same fertility sex magic that you'll find at the Vatican. And just like Jordan Maxwell said, there's nothing holy at the Vatican except the story. It's full of holes. So now you know why you find the fertility symbol throughout the world. So now you know why we call them Elites, worshippers of El. And that's why they're known as royals, the Roy of El, King El. And when you become an elder, you can give the lessons of El, which includes the hell of Bel. And that's why we learn the spell, because a spell is from El, the magic spark of El. Even if you commit a crime, you'll go to jail. But if you want to go free, all you need to do is to pay bail, because bail gives you your liberties. Clock comes from the Celtic word cloca, which means bail. And that's why they ring the bell to worship El. Haven't you always wondered why they always use owls for clocks? Because the owl is also El. Because the wise old owl is Saturn, Cronus, El. The Grim Reaper, as in your time is up. And that's why you'll find this statue in Washington, D.C. Because that's where you'll find our capital.